easy to introduce someone who's become a friend to you. And I met our keynote speaker 2 years ago. And before I formally introduce him, I got to tell you that I was in a room like this at a reentry conference. I had my head down, I was probably looking at my phone, I was playing with my pen, I don't know, but it was a panel. And as I was sitting there with my head down, I was hearing some voices, and it was the group talking. And then I heard this man speak. And I felt like I was back in school, because I reared up, put my phone, my pen down, and I was all in. He grabbed me like that. Not only the command of his voice, his energy, his spirit, but what he had to say, which you will hear is fresh. I hadn't heard it before. In that 2 years, he's become someone that I look up to and I admire. It was either after Christmas or before Christmas. I was in the car with my son. I was in a crappy mood. I think my son and I were jawing back and forth. My phone rang. I didn't even look to see the number. I said, hello. And I heard his voice, and I said, this is John. He goes, it's Carlos. Let's talk about those Cleveland Browns. And my mood changed. And I just, he does this to me. I mean, he is a good man with a good heart. He's passionate. He's just an amazing individual. And that's why we have had him speak in Cincinnati to about 85, 90 men and women on supervision back last June. He came to Columbus in September and spoke to 175 men and women on federal supervision, and now he's here today. An amazing individual. We often think of life as a story, and if Carlos' life was recognized as 2 chapters, that first chapter would be sad, but a familiar story of being a statistic. But the next chapter would be the inspiring and incredible story of defying the odds every single day. Carlos Christian is the president and founder of the Starts Within organization, founded in 2011, designed in his own words to turn the penitentiary on its head and stand the community on its feet by restoring the family structure. It's no coincidence that our speaker is a published author of 2 groundbreaking books, Prison Without Bars, It Starts Within, which you each get a free copy before you leave today, and The Walking Logo, Taking Back My Life, Volume 2. He's also the main feature of the documentary, The Walking Logo. These books and documentary capture Carlos's journey from statistic to an overcomer, a father, an instructor, a motivational speaker, and a movement leader. Today, our guest speaker is going to share his keys to success, which is understanding that a victorious mindset is the main ingredient to overcoming life's challenges. Let's give a warm welcome for our guest speaker, Mr. Carlos Christian.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there today? Good morning, good morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be here to present for the Restored Citizen Summit today. I would like to first thank the administration for putting this event together, John Deanna, my guy, Walter H. Rice, Dana, Calhoun, and all of the other people who had a part in putting this event together. I just want to thank you for being so invested into the reentry community. It is definitely necessary, but I would certainly be remiss to not acknowledge and just thank everybody in this audience today for being a part of this event. I understand that we all have decisions to make, and you all made a decision to be here, but a lot of times I think that it gets lost in the sauce that you have made it to a certain point. That means that you have made it through your sentence, and now you are here on probation, so you are entering into another phase of your life. That means that that is progression. So I just want to take the time and acknowledge that, because so often it doesn't get acknowledged, right? So you had to make decisions to be able to be right here today, because everybody don't get right here and be having the chance to be on probation, right? So I just want to take the time to just thank y'all I appreciate y'all. My name is Carlos Christian. I'm the president and founder of the Starts Within organization. What we do is we go inside of the prisons and we work with individuals before they get released, and we also work with individuals after they get released as well. Our mission is to reduce the recidivism rate. We get that done through education and mentoring. Now, I just sit back and I look at, man, where I came from and where I'm at right now. I'm living a high quality type of life right now. It's just some exciting times what I am experiencing. And the reason why I say that is because I have the opportunity to be able to experience things that I've always desired to experience, and I'm doing that right now. And the things that I'm talking about is simple things, like right before I came here from Columbus this morning, I'm in the car right at the bus stop with my 10-year-old son, and I'm putting on my Jimmy Choo cologne, right? And he's looking at me. He says, Dad, man, I want some of that too. I want to smell good too. I'm like, absolutely. This is how you put it on, son. You put it behind your ears and you put it on your wrist. You don't want to douse yourself in cologne and be like that old fella smelling like Old Spice, right? So I'm just in a position to be able to give him the game, and I just love every bit of that because he's looking up to me because of the relationship that I have established with him. But it's not just him; it's my other two children that I have as well. I got a daughter that is 3 years old, and she looks up to me, and I'm able to give her the information that she needs. I got a 21-year-old that I'm telling him, man, this is how you establish your credit, good brother. Man, if you buy a house right now, by the time that you turn 25, 26, man, you'll be solid. By the time you are 40, 50 years old, only thing that you will have to pay is property taxes. Right? Like, I love every bit of that. That's what's so exciting to me right now. And just to be able to do things that is just enjoyable to me is just good stuff for me. But I wasn't always there. Give you a little bit of backstory, why I do Starts Within organization, why I say turn the penitentiary on its head and stand the community on its feet. It is a vision that I've been given, and I've been holding on to it ever since I've been given that vision. Backstory, grew up in a single parent household. My mom got addicted to crack back in the 80s. My father raised me and my brother alongside with my grandmother. But my father, he worked full-time as a janitor at Oberlin College. My grandmother, she worked full-time for Children's Services in Cleveland, Ohio. So that left us open to the environment. My grandmother didn't get off until 6 o'clock. My father didn't get off until 9 o'clock. So then that opened us up to the environment, me and my only brother. So what happened was that I started to go out there into the environment, and I started to get influenced by the information that the environment was giving me. So I said that, you know what, the best way for me to be able to get to my next level of life is by doing the things that my environment is teaching me, which was to sell dope. So I started selling dope when I was 13 years old. I got hit at 19 years old. I had a 3-month-old child. I got hit with a 10-year prison sentence for attempted murder, possession of drugs, drug trafficking, possession of firearms. That's when I was like, man, hold up, this stuff is crazy. This is not where I'm supposed to be. This is not my next level of living. So I ended up doing my entire 10 years in Marion Correctional Institution. I get released in 2007, right before the economy was declared the Great Recession. That means that people at higher level positions was coming down to lower level positions to get employment. So I got released right before the economy was declared that Great Recession in August 2007. The economy was declared the Great Recession in December 2007. I can remember everybody was telling me, man, Los, man, it ain't no way they gonna accept you, brother. Do you see your background, brother? Brother, there's no way you're gonna be able to operate in regular society. But I had something different going on inside of my mind. What did I have? I said that I got a responsibility to take care of, because at that time, I just had my one son who was 3 months old when I got incarcerated. He was 10 when I came home. And I said that I got to be who I need to be for my son, because if I don't, then he will get caught up in the same system that I'm trying to get up out of, because he will not have the proper information. Information influences thinking, thinking controls behavior. So I said that I got to be the father to be able to lead my son, because if I don't lead my son, who's going to lead my son? So I said that I got to do what I got to do. I got a minimum wage job, and I got a better job, and I got a better job, and I got a better job. I ended up getting custody of my son. My son's mother said, raise our son to be a man because I trust you with the development of our son. I said, absolutely right. I got him. My son graduated in 2015 from Westerville South. He went on to college. He's 21 years old now. He didn't stay in college though, so don't get too hyped. He didn't stay in college, right? He dropped out and he said he's going to do something else with his life, but that's okay. What the moral of that story is that he's not selling dope. He's not having the same mentality that I had when I was 13 years old, trying to make something out of nothing. He don't have that type of mentality. So then this is what's so exciting about seeing my son who was 21 years old saying that, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and try to be an electrician. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this. I'm going to go ahead and try to make beats. Man, whatever you are doing, you're not putting yourself in a position to get incarcerated. But that's because I was there to be able to establish a relationship with him and give him some real stuff. And this is what it's all about. So within that, 12 years. That's 12 years. 2007, I got released from prison. It is 2019. That is 12 years, almost 12 years that I have been home. That means that I did a 10-year prison sentence. I have eclipsed my 10-year prison sentence by 2 years. 12 years, men. Within that 12 years, I've been able to establish the Starts Within organization, where I say that, man, we are going to get the brothers the information that they need so that they can start to make different decisions in life. See, the reason why the hood is because it's lacking for information. It's no knowledge that's circulating in the hood that's going to be able to get you to that next level. So then this is why we make the bad choices in life. So we got to get the information to the people. I do this with the Starts Within organization. We in all of the penitentiaries around the state of Ohio. We going into the juvenile facilities, Circleville Juvenile Correctional Facility, Indiana, Indian River Juvenile Correctional Facility, Cuyahoga Hills. We also going into Indiana this month, next month with Black History, going into Indiana. All of the penitentiaries in the state. We got the program right now implemented in London Correctional Institution. That's the 5th year-long program that has been implemented since we started the Starts Within organization back in 2011. Graduated 5-year-long programs. 4-year-long programs, we're on our 5th one right now. What's going on with these year-long programs, man? We're getting people to pull their credit reports while they are incarcerated. Because I understand that when you establish your credit, it levels the playing field. So I want you to pull your credit report inside of this year-long program while you are incarcerated. So you can see that your aunt has been opening things up in your name. Your cousin has been opening things up in your name and allowing those accounts to go delinquent because they understand that you are incarcerated and you don't know. You're not checking your credit anyway. What I want you to do while you are incarcerated is to see what's on your credit report, the things that should not be there, and then I want you to dispute that while you are incarcerated to get it wiped off before you even get released from prison. That's the knowledge that we need to have. First, you got to know how to read your credit report. Then you need to know how to dispute and clean your credit report up. You go back to the hood with that knowledge. So when I say turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet, I am focused. It's not just a shot. It's just not a wish. I'm focused on getting it done. Because the way we're going to get it done is with us. So that's what's so exciting about this movement. But today what I want to talk about is how have I been able to defy the odds? How have I been able to continue to elevate and go to another level and another level and another level? The only way that I've been able to defy the odds, what are the odds? Statistically speaking, I'm not supposed to be here. Statistically speaking, my son should be incarcerated. Children of incarcerated parents are more likely to be incarcerated. Matter of fact, when you do time, the chances of you getting incarcerated is high. Reincarcerated. I'm not supposed to be here statistically speaking. So what put me in a position to be here to speak today? When I say that it is a privilege for me to be able to have the opportunity to speak and inspire the people, I don't take that lightly. It is big for me to be able to have that opportunity. It is the victorious mindset that put me where I'm at today. That means that I will not lose, brother. I will not lose. I don't care what's coming at me. I will not lose. I will win no matter what. I don't care what everybody else is saying. I don't care what everybody else is accepting. I will not lose. I will not accept defeat. I will not lose. That is my mentality. It is a victorious mindset. This is something that needs to be developed. And in order to develop, you got to put in the time. So it is a couple of commitments that we are going to have to make in order to establish the victorious mindset. It's a couple of commitments that we are going to have to make in order to establish the victorious mindset. We are going to cover the 3 commitments that must be done in order to lay the foundation for a victorious mindset. We are going to cover that today. It costs. You got to pay for it. Everybody know ain't nothing for free. You got to pay to have a victorious mindset. It costs. So I can remember a couple of summers ago. By the way, I do got my 10-year-old. I just came out of a divorce. I got my 10-year-old. I got him 5 days of the week. He goes to his mom on the weekends. I'm dad for real, right? Like, dead serious. I'll be doing laundry while I'm watching, folding laundry while I'm watching Power. Cooking meals and things like that. I just got my fiance though, so now I'm getting a little bit of help with this now, so I ain't got to do it all the way now, right? So it's exciting times to go home now to a meal. I ain't got to go ahead and do a speaking engagement and come home and do dinner too, right? I was on YouTube, I was on Google, finding all the different types of recipes, how to fry chicken, how to fry fish. I was figuring it out because I had my son 5 days of the week. So a couple of summers ago, I had him and I was taking him to summer camp, right? I'm taking him to summer camp and I can remember we had got off on an exit, and when we got off on the exit, we was about 3 cars back. I had seen a lady there and she was asking people for change at the corner, right? And she's asking the first car for change, and some of them, they just kept on looking for her like they didn't even see her. And then she goes back to the next car and then they gave her some change. They went into their cup holder, gave her some change, and she's coming back and she's making her way back to my car. And when she gets back to my car, just so happens the light turns green, and when it turns green, pew, I'm gone. So when I'm getting up the street, right, and my son said, "That's cold-blooded, Dad. You ain't even gonna like hear her out." And when he said that, I'm going up the street. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I got convicted in my spirit. I said, man, I probably should have gave her a something. I should have gave her some type of help. That's what I felt like in my spirit. But in my spirit, I said that, man, I don't really feel good about just putting change in her cup, because in my mind, I believe that it's not about what you put in a person's hands. It's about what you put in their heads. Because if you put the right thing in a person's head, then they will always be able to keep something in their hands. So I'm not really too big on just putting some dollars in somebody's cup, because I know that if you don't have the right mentality, you're going to squander that dollar that I'll put in your cup, and you're going to be right back to me again saying, let me get another dollar, until I'm looking just like you. So I said, well, what can I do? I said, you know what? I'm going to give her the book, Prison Without Bars. I had just wrote it, 2015. I said, I'm going to give her Prison Without Bars. Now, this book has been selling. It goes for $20. I'm like, man, I'm going to give her the book, Prison Without Bars. It is my mentality. How was I able to become free while I was incarcerated, to be able to maintain my freedom since I've been home? What are the challenges that came against me in trying to establish my mentality to where I would never get incarcerated again? So I'm breaking down my whole mindset in this book, Prison Without Bars, and it's done in 57 pages. I didn't write it in a way to where the moon glistened off of the concrete in the wintry night. I didn't write it like that. It's just real stuff, real thoughts. How did I get it done? So I said, I'm going to give her the book. Tomorrow, if she's here, I'm going to make sure she gets the book, and that's what I'm going to do. So sure enough, after I drop my son off, next day comes, true to form. This time, I was right there, the first car at the light, and she was right there too. She comes right up, and I said, hold up, man, you like fully pregnant. You got like 9 months pregnant now today. I just seen you yesterday. You didn't know though, but I seen you yesterday, and now today you're 9 months pregnant. So she had basically, she took it up another level. She put some stuff in her shirt, and she like, I'm sure that I'll be able to get the hookup when they see a pregnant woman out here, right? So I'm like, this is cold-blooded, like she's playing hard out here, right? So she comes up to the car window and she says, hey, excuse me, sir. Now I had the book all ready to rock and roll in my hand. I'm like, it's time to get busy. She said, excuse me, sir, can I get some change? Because I'm hungry. I don't know when I'm gonna go into labor, and I just, can you do something for just me and my child, my unborn? I said, I didn't even expose her and let her know that I seen her yesterday with a flat stomach. I didn't even say that. I didn't even put her out there like that. I said, listen, I got you. I got this book right here, Prison Without Bars, next level. This next level. It's going to be able to get you to the places in life that you desire to be. You got to read the book, digest the information that's in the book, and I'm telling you, your life will be different. She looked at me with a grimace look on her face, and she was like, book? Man, what am I going to do with this book, man? Like, come on, man, that book ain't going to feed me, right? I don't need that book. My child doesn't need the book. This is how she looks at me. And then she said, you know what? I'm done with you, Joker. You wasting my time. And she went on back to the car. She said, no, brother, you can keep that book, baby. Right? I said, that's cold-blooded. I'm trying to give her the book. It was to the point I'm like handing it to her and out the window. And she like, no, baby, you can keep that book. Right? I'm like, man, what? I said, cool. She went back to the car in back of us. They went on ahead and put some change in her cup, and she was kind of excited. I'm looking at her through the rear view. My son, he is looking all the way turned around. When the police get behind you when we used to be young and your parents said, don't turn around. My son was like this, all the way turned around, looking to see what is going on. So some cars said no, and some cars said yes. And then my son, he's so inquisitive. He says, Dad, man, how come she didn't take the book? She don't know who you are. See, my son, he just thinks that I'm like, he says, you the president. And he really thinks I'm like the president of the entire country, right? So he's like, how? She didn't want the book, and you was going to give it to her? I said, son, the reason why she didn't want the book is the same reason why she's on the corner. Listen, her situation ain't gonna change because her mind does not see the opportunity when it presents itself. See, your mind got to be strong enough in order to be able to see the opportunity, or you will miss it. So often people wait to see opportunity with their eyes, and when you see an opportunity with your eyes, then that means that it is no longer an opportunity. The reason why you see the opportunity with your eyes is because somebody else is capitalizing on the opportunity. So what it becomes for you is a missed opportunity. See, she didn't invest into her mind. She didn't want to feed her mind. She thought that the solutions to her problems was just putting some money in her cup. But just putting money in her cup was not going to solve her problems. Men, and ladies, we don't have money problems. We have more of a thinking problem. So I told my son is that she will be here tomorrow doing the same thing. Because she's not addressing the main issue, which is a thinking problem. She doesn't want to feed her mind with the information that will put her in a position to have a victorious mindset. Instead, she is embracing a defeated mindset. And because she is embracing a defeated mindset, she has no choice but to lose. So that's what we're talking about today, is the victorious mindset. 3 commitments that we got to make, and I'm going to get out y'all's way. 3 commitments that we have to make to establishing a victorious mindset. Commitment number 1, commit to knowing thyself. What does that mean? Know what you like, know what you don't like. Know where you want to be, know where you don't want to be. You got to commit to knowing thyself. Keke Palmer, she said it best, up-and-coming actress. She said, when you start to separate from your truth, then that is when you begin to enter into darkness. When you start to separate from your truth, from the truth, then that is when you begin to enter into darkness. What that is saying is that when I'm not connected to my truth, then I'm going to be in the dark. And if I'm in the dark, it is no way that I'm going to be able to hit the mark because I can't see. So being connected to my truth, it puts me in a position to where I have light. The reason why our lives be so dismantled is because we've been living in the dark. Because we are separated from our truths. What it is you like, what it is that you don't like, where you want to be, where you don't want to be, right? So I can remember when I'm doing my 10 years in prison and I was 19 years old and I was sentenced to serve my whole entire 20s inside of a state facility. I said that, man, you know what? This is not where I want to be. I'm separated from my responsibilities. That means that my son is 3 months old. He will be 10 when I come home. I don't want to be in this position. It made me feel a certain type of way because I didn't know who was going to be giving my son the information. Who's giving my son information? Young Jeezy? Ricky Rose, because they gonna say, man, you know what, sell that break, go ahead and body up the whole block and then make it to the next verse. That never really happens. The people who really do that, they face some certain type of consequences that is not desirable. They don't get the opportunity to make it to another verse. I don't want my son to be exposed to inaccurate information. It made me feel a certain type of way. How did being incarcerated make me feel? This started to develop my truth and started to identify what I believe success was. I didn't like going down to the chow hall, and when I got there, because we were the last lot called, only thing that they had for us was bologna sandwiches, and there's no more burgers because brothers was doubling up. So then they ran out of all of the burgers. I didn't like getting into a shower with all men and brothers is talking to you while you butt naked talking about wreck. I didn't like that. Brother, I'm butt naked right now. Let me get out the shower first and go ahead and get myself together. Then we can talk about your recreation, brother. That just was uncomfortable to me. I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like the feeling when one of my older guys, he said, Los, man, you know you're a legal slave right now, right? I said, yeah, I know it's like slavery. And then he said, Carlos, look at the 13th Amendment. This is the Constitution. This is the law of the land. I didn't like the feeling when I read that 13th Amendment when it said neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except for as punishment for a crime where the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist in the United States or any other place subject to his jurisdiction. The only way that you can be a slave in the United States of America is if you get convicted of a crime and it serves as punishment. I didn't like that feeling. I felt like a sucker. I said, man, this stuff is not right. This is not accurate. So you mean to tell me that I volunteered to be a slave because I chose to go out there and commit the crimes that I was committing and it put me in a position to be a legal slave? Now you mean to tell me that the furniture factory is paying people 22 cents an hour and they gonna give you 3-cent raise after 3 years? And they making $50 million on the furniture factory?
And we built it.
I didn't like the feeling. I'm just talking about just being connected with my truth. This is my truth. I felt a certain type of way. It generated a certain type of feeling. But the thing about this is that nobody put me here. I made the decisions to be here. So then I started to say, if I made the decisions to be here, who's going to make the decisions for me to not be here after I get done with my 10? Victorious mindset. The feelings that I had, where I want to be, the things that I like to do. I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese at the drop of a dime right now. I love every bit of that. I just be riding past Chuck E. Cheese on a Wednesday, and I'll be like, son, you want to do Chuck E. Cheese? $20 coupon, man, you get the tokens, and you get free, and you get the pizza and 2 drinks. Chuck E. Cheese. Because when I was growing up, Chuck E. Cheese wasn't that often. So now I'm just Chuck E. Cheesed out. Brother, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. I be playing the games with my son, Chuck E. Cheesed out. Man, and I beat him every time in the basketball. Brother, I'm not going to let you win no games, brother. As much as I've been looking to do Chuck E. Cheese, sometimes I might come in there without you. They be like, you ain't got no kid. I'll be like, they be like, where the kid at? I'm like, you don't need to stamp me. It's just me by myself, man. I'm doing my Chucky, right? But these are the things that I like. I like to watch the Browns games. When I was in Marion Correctional Institution, they had us in between Cincinnati and Cleveland. And because we was in between the two cities, they played the team who was doing better. That means that they played Cincinnati every single year. So then that means I would sit in front of my rack with a Foxy, and I don't know if y'all was drinking that in the States or in the Feds or not. It was the coffee and the Kool-Aid, right, with the Jolly Ranchers busted up, right? So I had my Foxy set up, and I'm sitting up there waiting on for the Browns to come on, 1 o'clock kickoff, and then I would see the Cincinnati Bengals trot across the field. I didn't like that. I didn't like being around individuals who tolerated me and didn't celebrate me. Because when you're incarcerated, it's like people just tolerate each other. Ain't nobody looking at you like, yeah, I'm glad to see you today, good brother. Most people tolerate you at best. I want to be around people who celebrate me, who is excited to be in my presence. Commit to knowing thyself. What it is that you like. What it is that you don't like. That's the first building block to establishing a victorious mindset. We must first know what it is that we want to do, what it is that we don't want to do, where it is that we don't want to be, where it is that we want to be. I want to be on Carnival cruises with my children. I want to do that. I want to be able to look at the light blue waters and just enjoy a new country that I have never been to before. I love every bit of that. I want to be in a position to where I'm sitting up there saying, man, I want to order the turkey sandwich at 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to order the turkey sandwich. I want to go ahead and get a slice of cheesecake with strawberries and go ahead and put some cherries with that too as well. And some iced tea. I like that. It's all included on the cruise ticket. I don't even be awake when the stuff comes. But just in case I am awake, I want it to be there. And I wake up and do it again the next day. I like that. So that's what it's about, man. In establishing this victorious mindset, we must commit to knowing thyself. After we commit to knowing thyself, the next place that we must go, the next building block in establishing this victorious mindset, we must commit to thy work. When I say commit to thy work, what I am saying is that it's going to take work to develop yourself, man. That means that you're not just going to automatically be developed. That means once you understand what you like and what you don't like, now you got to develop yourself in a way to where it will maximize your likes and your don't likes, where it will put you in the best situation that you want to be. You got to commit to the work. So what is the work? The work is feeding your mind. Your mind is your greatest resource that you have. That means that if your mind is set up in a certain type of way, it will be able to overcome anything that is coming against you. How do you feed your mind? You feed your mind with information. Information influences thinking, thinking controls behavior. That means that when I was incarcerated in Marion Correctional Institution, what did I do? I said, I'm about to go ahead and sign up for college. Business management. 3.83 GPA for business management. Because I said that I need to start to learn some different things that contradicts the information that I have been operating off of. Because the information that I have been operating off of made me think that it was the best thing to do to go ahead and gun somebody down. I took my best friend to the back rows. I shot him in the head, point blank range. Because he was stealing my drugs. That seemed like it was okay to me. So now I said that I got to do something that contradicts that way of thinking. So I got to come against that culture that produces that way of thinking. Because it's only going to lead me inside of Marion Correctional Institution or going to lead me in the bed with bullet holes all in my body. Who wants to go to war? Who wants to go to war? Who wants to sit up here and have bullet holes in their body? You can say it all day long, I don't give a F, but at the end of the day, you really do. So I had to commit to the work. I had to get the information. So I learned business management. I graduated with a 3.83 GPA in Marion Technical College. That means that when everybody else was doing the things that they were doing, I said that I'm going to commit to studying. So then that means I learned it. The professors can come in all day long and they can teach it, but it was my responsibility to put in the work and learn it. I didn't care about taking that certificate to somebody and saying, hey, I got a certificate, look at me. No, I wanted to get the knowledge because I knew that if I get the knowledge, it will create options for me. This is where the work lies in the development of yourself. I put in the work. You got to be willing to do the things that others won't do today in order to have the things that others won't have tomorrow. See, others were not willing to put in that work. I stopped cussing, men and ladies, inside of the penitentiary. This was all intentional because I said that I'm going to change my language. Man, I was so sick of where I was at. When I started to figure that stuff out, I'm like, man, I'm so sick of where I'm at. I don't like it. I don't like my situation. And because I don't like my situation, I'm going to do everything in my power to be able to change my situation. I'm going to do all that I can do so I can be where I need to be. I'm not going to expect somebody else to do all that they can do. I'm going to do all that I can do. And part of that was saying, I'm going to change my language. So I'm in the middle of the jungle, and I'm telling brothers, man, this stuff is crazy. Man, you mother lovers is tripping. They like, Los, man, cuss, man, you ain't gonna cuss. Nah, brother, I got a son to raise. And when you go home, you ain't gonna raise him. Like, you go home and you'll collect my number and you'll say that you're gonna stay in touch with me. But I've seen how that goes. Doing 10 years, you see how it goes. Brothers go home and they go home. And they don't talk to you until they come back in. So I said that I got to do what I need to do. Put in the work. When I got released in 2007, what did I do? It's hard. But I'm going to do it hard, right? It's hard to go and work for minimum wage. That means in 2007, I worked for minimum wage. But I said that I'm going to work for the minimum wage so I can go ahead and get to where I need to be. That means that if you don't do something to intentionally make your situation better, then it will be worse. And if you're looking at your situation right now and you're saying, man, this is uncomfortable, this is bad, then that is an indicator that you will not like the worst. The only way that your situation is going to get better is if you intentionally do something to make it better. But it's not going to get better just because of a complaint. Your mom can't make it better for you. Your father can't make it better for you. The only people that can make your situation better is you. But you gotta intentionally do things to make your situation better. So I said that as long as I'm working these hours, see, I started to look at that minimum wage job differently. Because I said, as long as I'm working these hours, I'm separated from where I used to be at. So I'm definitely building my foundation in society and where I shall go. I bought my house off of that minimum wage job. That means that in 2009, I purchased my first house because they need a 24-month work history to be able for you to be able to solidify a mortgage. They used part of that minimum wage as my 2-year work history. I got my first credit card from that minimum wage job. I was able to establish my credit from that minimum wage job. See, you got to do that hard right now so it will stay temporary. But if you don't do that hard right now, guess what? It's going to stay hard. You got to do what's hard so your life will be easy. Instead of doing what's easy, and then your life going to be hard body. You have no choice. But it's hard to put in the work. It's hard to say, man, brothers is arguing about, man, who the best rapper, people smacking each other down in the day room. All of this stuff is going on, but I'm saying, man, I got to learn this stuff that I need to learn. Man, I'm done with college. I got to get into administrative office technology for vocational training so I can learn how to key. I can learn the computers. All of these things are creating options for me. I'm committing to the work. Okay, I still got some time left. Let me go ahead and learn some Spanish. Exio mucho, pero traigo mucho a la mesa. I demand a lot, but I bring a lot to the table. See, I said that I'm going to do all that I can do so I can be successful. I'm going to commit to the work. Because if I commit to the work, then nobody can take it from me because I built it. I don't have to come to a table and say, please, hook me up. I done worked on myself. I built myself up. People look at me right now and they see the starts within organization. I do this full time. I fired my boss 4 years ago. That means I went into the warehouse that I was working because I was working third shift and I was doing this during the daytime. I was going inside of the facility when there wasn't no contracts. I was going inside of the facility just getting brothers that information that they needed because I said that I have been able to get some good results. I think that if I give brothers the same information that I have been able to get the good results off of, then they will be able to duplicate the story. I wasn't getting no contracts, so I was working 18-hour days. 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I go in there and say, you are fired. I'm going to do the things that I need to do. Shortly after that, I wrote my book. The book has been selling like crazy. This is not work to me, man. I would do this for free. Okay, don't take that too serious, John. But that's because of the work that I put in on myself. People will sit up there and say, Los, man, you got 3 children's mothers and you got three children's mothers and you are involved in all of your children's life. I got a shared parenting plan on all of my children. That's the work that was put in. That means that I'm going to parent-teacher conferences. This is the work that we got to put in. We got to commit to the work. We commit to the work. We are now closer to establishing this victorious mindset that will get us to that next level. But we got to commit to the work. We got to commit to the work. That's where it's all about, man. You got to do all that you can do. But you just literally got to ask yourself, are you doing all that you can do? Because a lot of times we're not. Are you reading more books? You know how many books? Man, I go to the library now and I'm checking out 2 books at a time. It's crazy. Because I heard that the people who elevate in life are the people who read. So I'm like, man, let me go ahead and start to read more books. I'm going in reading Les Brown, T.D. Jakes, Miles Monroe. I'm checking out 2, 3 books at a time. Getting it done. Because I said I'm going to feed my mind. Because if my mind is not strong, then my mind will not be in a position to control my behavior. So what will control my behavior if my mind is not strong enough, man? Your feelings. If your mind is not strong enough to control your behavior, the only thing that is left to control your behavior is your feelings. That means that you'll say, I don't really feel like going to work today, so I'm not going to go to work today. Although your mind will tell you that going to work will get you in a place in life that you need to be. But because your mind is not strong enough to control your behavior, your feelings is going to control your behavior, and then you'll lose your job, and then you'll end up recidivating, right? Because your feelings is controlling your behavior. Because you're not feeding your mind. I don't feel good today. And when people come in contact with you, depending on how you feel, is how you gonna act. And don't nobody like to be around a wishy-washy brother or sister. So if your feelings control your behavior, men and ladies, you will be in a bad space. Your feelings will take you all over the place. Unstable. You need to be solid in order to get anything done in life. Solid. And the way that we solid is because we have a strong mind. You can't be solid without a strong mind. There's no way. You will be in vulnerable situations all your life if your mind is not victorious. The people who win, they win because their minds will not accept anything less. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work to even stay positive. Because if you don't, you'll be negative human beings are negative by nature. You'll automatically gravitate towards the negative. You got to put in the work to stay positive. When everybody else is talking about what they don't got, I'm talking about what I do got. When everybody else is telling me, man, all the stuff that is wrong, I'm telling myself everything that is right. I got to fight to stay positive, because if I stay positive, then I will be able to progress. But if I stay negative, if I start to become negative, what happens? I will sit down. And if I sit down, then I will stay in this mess. The only way that I can get out of this mess is if my mind stays positive and continues to look forward. So then that means that I got to say, man, I don't care about the 10 years. I'm going to get outside of this 10 years. This 10 years is just temporary. It's not forever. That means that I'm going to take advantage of everything that they got to offer. That means that I'm going to get my teeth clean twice a year, so when I get released from prison, they gonna see this smile. It was people who was doing 10 years just like me. Young, came in just like me. And they got reincarcerated. The reason why they got reincarcerated is because they looked and they identified everything that was wrong with the prison. And because they did that, they could never get right. See, when you impregnate the wrong, then the only thing that your life will continue to do and your mind will continue to do is birth more wrong. But when you impregnate the right, your mind will birth more right. And I just want to be living a life that just has a lot of right in it. The only way that I'm going to be able to live a life that has a lot of right in it is if I commit to the positive. You can talk to some people and they'll tell you everything that is wrong. I said, I got 10 years, man, but look, man, dude got 30 years and he just went to the board. He got 10 at the board. And that's a come see me later 10. It's not a 10 you go home. That'll be 40. But I got 10. I got another crack at it. See, this is what helps me to progress. But you got to seek and find the positive. If not, you will not be positive. I did something with my son because I teach parenting classes too, how to establish a positive relationship with your children. And with my son, it's just exciting to be able to develop him, because my whole intentions with him is developing a positive mindset, because I understand if he has a positive mindset, he will always achieve victory. So then I'm just so excited about developing the little fella's mindset, right? So what I do is I always focus on the positive. I address the negative, but I focus on the positive as well. So my son, he gets up and he takes showers on his own now. He's been doing that for about 2-3 years, since about the middle of the 3rd grade to the close to the 4th grade, somewhere around there. He's been doing it for a while. He takes showers on his own. He wakes up in the morning, takes showers on his own, and get ready for school. It just didn't happen by default. The reason why it happened is because I intentionally did things with him to encourage that behavior. So I get him to see how that is positive, and what people do when they see that they are doing positive, they want to duplicate the positive, especially children. And if he continues to want to duplicate the positive, then he's just going to be doing the things that I desire him to do on a normal basis. So it was one morning I wake up early and I say, man, dang, well, I didn't wake up early, I woke up late. So I get up and I say, oh man, I forgot to wake the little fella up. It was just me and him in there. I forgot to wake the little fella up. So I come in the room, the little brother got up just as usual, but at that time, I was turning on the shower, letting him get in the shower like that, right? I said, man, son, what's going on? You playing the Xbox? Like, the bus comes at 8:25. He says, oh, Dad, the shower, I was waiting on for you to get up to turn on the shower. I say, son, you could have woke me up. Like, come on, man, you could have woke me up. And he said, oh, okay, my bad. So I said, cool. What I did, I went on ahead and I showed him how to work the shower. I said, this is the hot, this is the cold. You put your hand down here, right there by the sprout, and then you go right by the faucet, or whatever may be the case. You see the temperature of the water. If it's good for your body, then you pull up the middle. And then that's when the shower comes out. He's like, I got it, Dad. I said, cool, you cool? You got it? You understand? He's like, I got it. I said, cool. Right? So he took his shower. I had to take him to school that morning because he had missed the bus. Cool. The next, about 2-3 days later after that, again, same scenario. I come in there and I'm like, oh, and I seen him. He was in the shower, getting busy. And as soon as I seen that, I took advantage of the opportunity. See, you got to take advantage of the opportunity when they present itself. Opportunity of a lifetime during the lifetime of the opportunity, meaning that they come and they go. So I knew that it was a character trait that I wanted them to have. So what I did is I capitalized on the opportunity and I encouraged the behavior. So when I seen him in the shower doing what he needed to do on his own, meaning that he was self-regulated, I didn't need to tell him to get in the shower. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. So immediately what I said is that, son, that's what I'm talking about. See, encouragement means to be specific. It's telling them exactly what they did, why it was important, and how it's going to benefit them in the future. Encouragement. So I said, son, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, man, you got in the shower on your own, man. That's next level, man. Like, you didn't wait for me to come and tell you because you knew that you had to get ready for the bus. Man, when you get older, man, that's going to be beneficial, and that's how you're going to be able to be successful. He was like, yeah, Dad, I did get up on my own. I did, yeah, right? I was like, yeah, man, like, man, that's good stuff, man. So his head is just blowing up. He like, yeah, wait until you see tomorrow. I'm gonna be right back at it, right? I'm gonna get back in the shower on my own, right? You ain't got to wake me up. I wake up on my own, right? I get in the shower on my own. So he's just feeling real excited about himself, right? I'm developing a mindset intentionally. You don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. That's my responsibility as his father. So a couple of days go by. He has his own bathroom too. So he has his own bathroom, full bathroom. So I go in the bathroom because I'm out of toothpaste. So I'm coming in the bathroom. I'm looking for the toothpaste. I'm like, where the toothpaste at, son? He brushes past me with a towel on him, wet body. He brushes past me. I'm like, man, damn, okay, fella, you still doing your thing, right? So I'm going to get the toothpaste. And when I get the toothpaste, out the corner of my eye, I'm like, caught my eye, I'm like, what the heck? I'm looking at the corner of the tub, what I seen was the rag. It was his rag, it was like this, balled up like this. Dry, been a mug, right? I'm like, man, this rag ain't been used since I don't know when. The rag is so dry, I'm tripping. I'm like, man, this brother ain't been using no rag. Well, maybe he's just been using the soap. So I started to do a little further investigation, and I look at the soap. The soap is stuck to the corner of the tub. I'm like, the soap ain't got no suds on it. If he just come out with a wet body, it should have some type of suds. This soap is stuck to the corner of the tub. Hold up, this little brother ain't been using no soap. He's been getting in the shower on his own, feeling himself, and he ain't been using no soap. So I'm gonna say, man, hold up. I'm not even gonna come straight at him. I'm gonna ask him. So I come to him, I say, son, son, you been washing up, man, when you been getting in the shower? He look at me, because he know that if he says no, I'm gonna say get back in the shower, because he was ready to start playing this game. And he looked at me, he said, no, Dad. I say, man, why not? This brother look up at me, because it take too long. I said, he said, it take too long to sit up there and wash up, Dad. I said, but you be in the shower for about like 10, 15 minutes. It take too long. How do I respond to that situation? See, what most people would have did, or most parents would have did without the information and without being intentional with developing a positive mindset, they would have just told him everything that he did wrong. Man, look at you, man. What's wrong with you, man? That's you trying to always cut corners. That's your problem, man. Get your butt back in the shower. That's probably how it would have went. But what did I do? I said, son, listen, let's go ahead and get back in the shower. And when he was getting back in the shower, he was saying, man, this stuff crazy. right? He had a real sour attitude about it. But what did I do? I let him know the things that he had did right. I said, son, man, look, listen to this, man. Hey, man, you getting in the shower on your own right now, man. Like, that's good stuff. Man, a lot of kids your age don't wake up on their own and get in the shower on their own. Only thing that you was missing was the soap and the water. And he's looking, he's still kind of down, right? And then I said, but son, on top of that, you told me the truth. Like, you didn't try to escape from your consequences, you told me the truth. That's admirable, son. Now, once you start to add the soap and the water, man, you'll be golden. And he's looking at me, he was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I am doing this stuff on my own. I am. So now it started to change the whole mood. Why? Because now he's starting to understand that he did do some things right. You got to commit to be positive. So then therefore I got to commit to be positive as a father. Because if I don't, then I will establish a negative relationship. A negative relationship will present barriers. And if it's barriers between you and another individual, you cannot transfer information. I need to be able to transfer information to my children. That's the work. Because if I can't transfer information to my children, then they will be vulnerable to the information that is out there in society that will not put them in the best possible place that they need to be. All of my children, except for the 3-year-old, know neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except for as punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist in the United States. All of my children know that. So when they going out there and making the decisions and saying, man, should I get this work? They're going to be thinking, if I get this work, it's a possibility that I will be putting myself in a position to be a legal slave. So maybe I shouldn't get this work. I got to transfer the information, but I got to commit to the positive relationship in order to be able to transfer that information. Commit to the positive. And men, the last commitment that we must make, and we're going to wrap it on up, the last commitment that we must make to establish this victorious mindset so we can get to that next level in life, the last commitment that we must make is we must commit to thy circle. Understand how important that is. There's 2 types of individuals that you're going to come across in life. Those people who are attachments and those people who are connections. Those people who are attachments, they are just there to drain you. They suck you from energy. They don't have no ideas. Those are the people that's going to tell you everything that is going on wrongness with you in your life. They're going to tell you that there's no way for you to be able to overcome your background. They're going to tell you everything that you can't do, not what you can do. Your attachments will take the life out of you. But the connections, they give you life. After you leave the presence of a connection, you say, man, I feel a little bit inspired. I feel like I got a couple of new ideas. I like being around that individual. I just feel like I'm ready to live life. When you around some connections, you figuring things out when you connected to people. They give you the energy. You got to commit to thy circle. Know the difference between an attachment and a connection. But the thing about the attachments, sometimes it can be your family. That means I came home after doing the 10 years and brothers was telling me like, Los, man, come on, kick it with us, man. Like, man, come on, let's get it, man. Like, the streets miss you. I'm like, the streets ain't miss me, man, because I was in the same place, brother. Like, how can the streets miss me? I wasn't hard to find. You can get right on the internet and you can find exactly where I'm at. My address stayed the same. I had to separate so I can grow. Because I can't have a whole bunch of people who are attached to me and expect to level up. I got to get with some people that are connections. That means that you are either at where I want to be or you are going where I want to go. But if you keep on talking about remember when I used to be the man or remember when we used to do that and do this, then that means that that conversation is dead. Because I can't grow from that conversation. You'll get into a conversation with some people and it's like, man, brother, what did I just do with my time? I just gave you 2 hours of my time in a conversation that did not help me develop, that did not give me a new type of way of thinking. You got to make that decision. I'm going to commit to my circle. We can't say that, man, such and such got me here. No, man, I allow such and such to be in my life, and because I allow such and such to be in my life, I didn't get the ideas, I didn't get the openings that I needed to have. People that see me doing what I do is because of the people that I've been able to connect with. Men, I'm going inside of the penitentiary, they're giving me a man down button now. Like, that is crazy. There's nobody in between me and my brothers. This is me and my brothers is talking. Just like this inside of the facilities. That's because of the relationships. Opportunity comes through relationships. So I got to nurture the relationships that are connections, because that's how I'm going to be able to get the opportunity to be able to level up to another level, to be able to do the things in life that I have been put here to do. Because we can't do it by ourselves. We got to find the people that will help us develop in a way that will show the best us. We got to connect with those people. I just got done filming the Walking Logo documentary. This is not made up, man. You can get on the website. You can look at the website. The Walking Logo is a 2-hour documentary where you'll see me going inside of the juvenile facilities, giving the people inside of the juvenile facilities that work that they need. You'll see me going inside of the state facilities, giving them the information that they need. But what's so special about it is that you'll see me coming inside of Delaware County Jail, because now I'm starting to tap into the county jails, because my idea is saying that if we get people in the county jails when they are just getting 20 days here and 30 days there to abandon the mentality that gets them incarcerated, then we'll be batting 1,000. We will really be able to turn the penitentiary on its head. You'll see me in the county jail on the documentary, talking with the Delaware County Sheriff in an empty jail cell. And he says, Carlos, man, the program that you're bringing in here is powerful. My people, the people in here is benefiting off of the program. I'm like, absolutely. And I says, Judge, I said, Sheriff Russell Martin, man, like, tell me, where do you get the money to buy the books? Because he done bought over 700 copies of my books, Prison Without Bars and also the Walking Logo, Taking Back My Life, Volume 2. He done bought over 700 copies of the book. Inside of those books, you already know what's inside of them. I'm talking about how to establish credit in the second one. Everything that I experienced when I came home, I'm teaching that stuff in the book. He spreads them all throughout the jail for people to be able to read the books while they are incarcerated. I say, where do you get the money? This is on tape. Where do you get the money to purchase those books, Sheriff Russell Martin? The brother says, and this is on tape, Carlos, I'm glad you asked. I get the money, seized drug money. I use seized drug money to purchase your books, Carlos. They took my money got took when I was 19 years old. I had 2 cars. I wasn't no millionaire, I was a thousandaire. So I had 2 cars. I had a Cutlass Supreme 84 with the rims on it. I had a Caprice 85 with the rims on it. Doing my thing, right? Those cars was confiscated because they said that they were purchased by drugs. Money was taken because of drugs. But because of the work that I have done with myself and developing myself, I'm in a position now to get my books that I have wrote purchased by drug money, because they have the ability to purchase either education with drug money, training with drug money, or equipment with drug money. And see, when you get connected with some of the people in these top level positions, they really do have a heart to try to get you in the place in life that you need to be. It's crazy. They really do be invested into your success. It's crazy. But you gotta tap into it. You got to tap into it. But if you don't look at the positive in people, then it will not be no positive results. So then that means that I got off of probation under 2 years. I was sentenced to 5 years of probation. That means that I got connected with my probation officer and asked him everything that I need to do, what I need to do. I'm going to color within the lines. So when I color within the lines, the picture's going to come out the way that I desire it to come out. So then I can be off of probation because I want to be able to go to the places in life that I need to be. I got connected. I need information. Right now, I'm down at child support, getting all of the information from child support. I just implemented a program in child support. They contract me to go down there. I'm getting all of the information from the director of child support so I know how child support works, so I can tell brothers how it works. Connections. Who is around you? Who is around your circle? Are they helping you get to the place in life that you want to be? Are they giving you the information that you need to be able to level up so you can be the best father that you need to be? The best mother that you need to be? Who is around you? You got the right people around you, you'll be able to get all things done. I'm an open book. I'll tell you about my failures. I'll tell you about my successes. But nobody can make you do nothing. I didn't get the opportunity to be able to see people who did 10 years and then been able to overcome it. So, men, in closing, this is a big vision that I got. Turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet. Guess what, man? This stuff is not going to be done by just me. People see me and they say, man, Los, man, like, John be like, man, Carlos, man, good guy, man. And I'll be like, man, there's more people that's like me. They just need the information. I'm not no unicorn. It's just that people are struggling for information. So if we can give people the information to where they'll be inspired, then guess what? They can offer the same results. So when I say turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet, it's not going to be alone. So when I come and I take the opportunities to speak in front of the population, only thing that I'm doing is looking to recruit. 2.3 million people that's incarcerated. Who's going to be able to deliver the message the best? The person who has been infected by the message the best. Only the sick who has become well will be the best ones to deliver the message. But you have to really have become well. You can't halfway be well. You got to really be well. So then you can heal other people who are suffering from the sickness. So, if we're looking at this right here, in closing, if we're looking at this right here, and this is the penitentiary, imagine that. Men, ladies, I keep on saying that because I only see a couple ladies in here. This is the penitentiary. And I'm over here saying, turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet. How many people agree with that statement? A few. Right. Turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet. Who gonna help me turn this penitentiary? This is the penitentiary. You see me like this, struggling. Nobody in the room, is anybody in the room inspired to help me turn the penitentiary on its head? Anybody? Why, yeah, brothers, yeah. This is the penitentiary. Don't ask me if I need help. Come help me. Like, brothers, help.
What you saying? Come up here and help.
I'm just gonna keep on there because I'm so serious about it. Right. Because if I don't, then my community will not be able to be on its feet. So now we struggling. We struggling. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? This is what it's about, man. It's not gonna change unless we do something to change it. Now where's the penitentiary? It's on his head. But it takes our involvement. It's not going to be on his head as long as we sit back and wait for everybody to put it on his head because they're going to feel sorry for us. It's not going to be on his head. And if it's not on his head, then our children will go through the penitentiary 10 years from now. And if they go through it 10 years from now, it's going to be way worse. Because if you don't do something to intentionally make the situation better, it will be worse. You got to pay for electricity now in the state jails.
$60 something. That's crazy. Yeah, shit.
That's the responsibility. The only way that we're going to be able to turn the penitentiary on his head is if we turn the mentality that gets us incarcerated on his head. We got to abandon the mentality. We got to abandon the mentality. Brother, you put the penitentiary back on his head? Man, like, I'm so serious about this. Man, you don't know how much stuff I take on the chin to get this done. It's people that told that I done seen OCOs and they told me, say, man, hey, he just an inmate. And I'll be like, I don't care what you call me. I got to get in here and get done what I need to get done. That means that brothers need to be inspired. Brothers need to see that it is possible. Because so often, brothers don't even know that it's possible because everybody who did time, they end up getting reincarcerated or killed. So it is my responsibility to continue to show my story, show myself, and that's the only way that people will be inspired to a way to where they say, man, you know what? Let me abandon the mentality that got me incarcerated in the first place. I don't need to know about no laws. I just need to know about the mentality that made it okay for me to do the things that I was doing. Because everybody ain't about to get incarcerated. John, do you think you're about to get incarcerated tomorrow? No, right. Judge Rice, do you think that you're going to get incarcerated tomorrow? Right. So you got mentality, you got a mindset. Dana, do you think you're going to get incarcerated tomorrow? Absolutely. Right. So you got a mindset that prevents incarceration. So if you got a mindset that prevents incarceration, and I want to prevent incarceration, my best chess move is to say, hey, how you make decisions? How you do things? How you move? What make you go? I don't need to go around people who is on their way to getting incarcerated because they just gonna tell me how to get incarcerated. If you ain't got a seat at the table, then more than likely you on the menu. That means that you food rotisserie style, and brothers be mad in the mug when they be rotisserie style, like that chicken that be turning inconvenient. But you don't have to be fooled if you make the decisions to turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet by developing a victorious mindset and abandoning a defeated mindset that's not going to get you to the places that you need to be. It's not going to get your children in the place of life that they need to be. You will infect them with that same poisonous mentality and they will be sick. And then they got to pay the price for that sickness. Probably just like you had to pay the price for your parents' sickness that they had, that they infected you with, that poisonous mentality. When does it stop? This is the mission. Before change can be seen externally, change must be done internally. I am Carlos Christian. That's my time. I appreciate y'all.
So you know when I
I think that was the name of
Yeah,
Well, I heard Carlos
Rage
Christian
back in the day.
and
Yeah, he was.
one of the more inspirational messages I've heard. You know,
When I heard you hit it like that, I
talk
was like,
to
yeah.
people all the time.
Beautiful, effective style.
Talk about some of the things he
Must
did,
have
but it doesn't make any impression. What he says gets through to people.
You did a beautiful job. I just kept
I
hearing.
think inspires them to take that next step. See how you could possibly.
I appreciate this. My name is Marcus Walton. Coming through and listening to Mr. Carlos Christian and the message that he instilled in me is inspiring. Not only is it inspiring, I'm also going to connect with him on a documentary and just to help people with the recidivism rate. And, you know, I think seeing is believing. So if we can connect through entertainment, then that'll be powerful. And I mean, like I said, he inspired me to do so. It just placed in my heart. So I mean, I'm gonna follow that and try to figure out what we can make another documentary. And like I said, I appreciate it for coming through. Like, I mean, it's not only inspiring, it's impactful. So, thank you.
Hello, my name is Dayton Calhoun, and I work for the United States Probation Office, and I am I work with clients as it relates to employment, entrepreneurship, and soft skills. Carlos Christian came in for our Restored Citizens Summit today, and he was phenomenal. Not only was he able to share his past experiences, but he was able to share the processes that he took to get where he is now. He was truly impactful, not just for our clients that are in the re-entry phase of their lives, but he was impactful for me to look at some of the things in my life, and he's just a great motivator. So that I commend him, I applaud him. It starts within his organization. It's truly, truly awesome. You know, it's so awesome that his gifts were able to be used in this place, but it can be used across the board for people that are in entrepreneurship, for people that are just trying to change their life. And so I truly, truly, I'm so happy that I have my book. I'm going to read my book that he wrote, but I look forward to his future works and look forward to hearing again soon. Best wishes to you, Carlos. God bless.
How you doing? My name is Dusty McIntyre. I really enjoyed Carlos's speech. Very insightful about what's going on in our country now. We need more people like him to speak. Hopefully I can be a part of his movement because he is very impactful. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Shane Prophet. This was very powerful. He's a very powerful speaker, very influential, and it's going to give me a lot of different ways of thinking. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I really enjoyed Mr. Carlos Christian's message, very effective message that he gave, and universal success principles. He really gave a lot of insight into the mindset that has to be made in order to be successful. So I'm grateful for the wonderful job that he was doing, and I felt so privileged and blessed to enjoy hearing him speak, and he's a great inspiration to a lot of young men and women.
I'm John Galona, Chief of the United States Probation Department for the Southern District of Ohio, and I'm going to talk a bit about Carlos Christian and the Starts Within organization. I met Carlos 2 years ago at a Columbus Reentry Conference, and I was immediately taken aback by the energy, the passion, the transparency of his message. It's fresh. Talks about personal responsibility for positive change. So in the last 6 months, we've had Carlos speak to 350 of men and women on federal supervision. He has shared that message with them, a positive message, one for growth, changing thinking habits. He's been extremely effective, and I encourage you to listen to his message.